Curbing on air bigotry. The distinction between free speech and hate speech should be at the heart of regulation. It says that there should be a difference between free speech and hate speech, and free speech should be controlled from transforming into what is known as hate speech. The Supreme Court poses to the Union government on the measures it can and is willing to take against communally slanted television coverage should not end in an undesirable consequence. The question appears to be an attempt to elicit a commitment to a course of action that will curb inflammatory journalism on broadcast media. So the Supreme Court has reported to the Union government saying about it has reported about the Indian journalism. The court has reported that because of certain media channels who are willing to say free speech, but their free speech is just like hate speech, because the way in which they are expressing the news is creating hate on someone else. So if we see their channel, we either group on his side or the other one side. It's like that. So when we group on one side, we automatically we develop hate on the other. This attempt by the court seems to the attempt by the court to stop these kinds of journalism, and it has reported to it has reported to the to the center. So this all seems like an attempt. This all seems like an attempt to stop such type of journalisms. However, the court's warning that if the government fails to explain its mechanism to deal with the problem, it would create one on its own and may take the debate down a slippery slope. The court is hearing petitions against the communal color given by some channels to the incidence of large clusters of COVID-19 infections among those who attended a Tablighi Jamaat event in New Delhi. So the court continued that if this union government or the center doesn't take this issue seriously, the court itself will handle the issue and will take serious actions against the media channels. And also, court has been already hearing some petitions against some incidents. For example, there is a media channel which described a particular event in this way. So basically, a event happened in New Delhi where a huge amount of COVID-19 transmissions took place. So obviously that was all by mistake. But the media channels pose it in such a way that it says that the transmission of virus which took place there was intentional of the owner. So the person who hosted it wanted everyone to get coronavirus. That's how the media channels say their news. The portrayal of the participants as intentional super spreaders was vicious and motivated. And yes, the intention of the media channel, it was clear that they wanted to say that all of this was on purpose. Curiously, the center seems very reluctant to intervene, while the court seems to be battling for greater media regulation. So, on one hand we have center, and on the other hand we have the Supreme Court. On the first hand, which is center, it is very reluctant to even care about this matter. It's not even caring about this matter. It is not even interfering. It is not making any laws for this, and it's not even considering this. But on the other side, the Supreme Court is taking this very seriously, and it will go out of its way to do the justice and to do the right thing. The center's affidavit stated that the media coverage predominantly struck a balanced and neutral perspective, and that it was open to the viewers to choose from a number of varying perspectives given by different media channels. So the court it continues that the media channels should spread the media. They should not create any emotion in it. They should just spread the media, and the viewers shall choose a perspective. And after that, the viewers will have many various perspectives to choose from. However, the court is keen to know what action has been taken under the Cable Television Networks Regulation Act against offending broadcasters. So there's an act which is actually created way in the past to handle these types of situations, and Supreme Court it came to the Supreme Court's knowledge that these laws were not seriously taken. One hopes that the center's position arises from a commitment to media freedom and is not based upon on a partisan leniency towards channels that peddle a certain narrative that suited its interests. So the center is not making these types of actions, like it's not even caring about what's going on with Indian journalism. The main reason is that the center values the freedom of the media. It believes that media could change the world, and so that and because of that, the center has given the media freedom. The court appears unconvinced that the present mechanism of self regulation and the National Broadcasting Standards Authority is effective. So the court appears unconvinced. So as I said, there was an act which was launched way past in the time, and no serious actions were taken from the act against these types of issues. So the court is pretty unconvinced that if anything in India actually goes by self-regulation, and the government is in any case empowered under the Act to prohibit transmission of programs that violate the program or advertising codes, and even an entire channel in public interest. In the past, channels have been asked by the INB ministry to take some programs off the air. So, so in channels many programs take place, and some type of programs have even asked it to be cut off or to be eliminated by the INB ministry, um, which full form whose full form is Information and Broadcast Industry Ministry. So that ministry has asked certain channels to eliminate some of their programs happening. Depending upon the damage done to individuals or institutions, or even society at large, there is enough scope for under there is enough scope for action under the penal law. So, and legal action against someone who violated a law, it actually depends upon how big a mistake they made. Um, did it create a huge social mistake, or did it just affect an individual, but still critical, or like that? There is no doubt that egregious violations of norms are not uncommon. Yes, there is no doubt that these types of shockingly bad journalism is not uncommon in the world. So it is very common. It means that these types of egregious or shockingly bad things happen all over the world. The case of Sudarshan News, which began as a series that pro- that that prop that propagated hate against Muslims, is a flagrant example, and a perfect example to what I just said would be the case of Sudarshan News. It is a channel which got eliminated due to its way of journalism. It has created hate against Muslims, and that's not a part of Indian culture. The government has merely administered a caution to the channel and asked it to moderate the content of the future episodes and avoid breaching the program code. And the government has took this step, and it has said that no, you can't do this, and you should stop this immediately. In September, while ordering the suspension of further episodes, the court distinguished between free speech and hate speech, and distinction should be at the heart of any order, creating a new mechanism, if at all one is needed, to deal with the broadcast media excess. So, the court is saying that we need to come up with a new method to control self-regulation, so that we can stop free speech from becoming hate speech. And the author also adds that he thinks that these types of issues don't even need a method, and they should simply follow that and they should simply follow that all are equal, and we should not discriminate anyone. Thank you.